Hey, this is Gork, and I'm just showing off how to use your Chromancer X. So let's go through how to use the patch bay. So as you can see, each patch bay has a top set of 8 data points, a middle set of 3 connection points, a second set of 3 connection points, and 2 ground points. And everyone will have that. Maybe they'll be relocated around. You can see this one, 2 ground points, 3, 3, 8. This one right here. They're all painted to show. 2 ground points, 3, 3, 8. So they're all laid out the same way, and they all have that. And these are all yours. 2 ground points, 3, 3, 8. The ground sometimes is moved around, but if it's 2 vertical, that's your ground. If it's 2 sets of 3, that's your 2 connection zones. And then the 8 is always the top, and that's your 8 data points. So let's show you how to patch. So basically, we're in manual mode right now. Always recommend being in manual mode because you can get more control that way. It's up here. And you can adjust the aperture and stuff. So we're going to it's pretty dark in here, so we're going to do that. Other things I recommend is making your ISO at 80 for less grain, because it's kind of a digital ISO. So the grain it'll be more grainy with your glitch photos if you have the ISO up. I recommend having your color on vivid. I recommend messing with the white balance, because the white balance can totally change the glitch, pretty cool. The tungsten does some stuff, underwater does some stuff. Always fun to mess with those. But I'm putting it on daylight right now. Okay, so let's show you how to patch. So we're gonna first go through what point to point looks like. And point to point looks something like this, where you take these two and look, they're directly connected. Any set can be like that. Any of those 2 data points can go together. They will do something because they're basically one data point connecting to another data point. These don't do anything inherently. So there's nothing happening when I do this. There's nothing happening when I connect these together, because there's no data there. These only that's connected to the board directly are these right here, and these 2 black ones. These 2 black ones are ground, so when you go from point to point here, it will kind of oversaturate and darken the image. You can see does that. But these are very special. We're going to explain those. So I'm going to show you how to patch them. So basically, all 3 of these and all 3 of these are connected. So if we do that same patch, let's do red here and red here, and then we do another red. And these wire colors don't matter. I'm just using them to kind of show you what's connected to what. You can see that same effect happens. Well, there you go. It's a little darker. It's hard to see because it's so dark. But if we adjust the light in here, you can see the same effect is happening. And so it's like the exact same connection that we got before, which is awesome. Now you're like, okay, well, that's really cool. Let's connect them together. So when we do that, well, I guess now let's add more is what I mean. So right here, you've got a third one. And you're like, well, why would we need a third? Well, we need a third because we can add more connections with the third. We can cross them even more. So when we do this, now there's 3 points connecting. And that looks awesome, right? Because there's so much more data touching, and all 3 of them are touching. I'm going to actually replace that with a red so you can follow it better, just so you can see what's happening a little bit clearer. Hopefully that will help. So let's do that. So yeah, all 3 of these are connected. You can see all the reds are all together. So every red wire, you can see all 3 of those purple data points, boom, boom, and boom. They're all connected in the connection zone. Okay, let's do it again with these green wires. So these green wires, we're going to connect to this middle one right here. Just going to kind of slide. I usually patch this in a better order. Put this middle one in here. Nothing's happening because there's nothing it's connected to yet. Then we'll connect this to this one right here. And you don't notice much, so let's try to find one that has a little more effect. Not much. Let's put it into ground. How about that? Not a lot of effect off that. Let's see. Maybe let's patch it into this one. Can you see that? Yeah, it's a little bit. You can see it darkens it a little bit. It's not very noticeable. Some of these, obviously the connections are not as, oh, there we go. See those little sparkles? Cool. We'll now add a third one together. So we'll do this, and we'll put that into the ground, I think. See if that kind of not as interesting as I want. I'm trying to show you a good example of this so you can really see. There we go. Okay, so you see those lines, those sparkles, and when you take a photo with it, You can see very interesting looking photo. But that's all this affects, all these combining. So you've got 3 greens going into the bottom zone and 3 reds going into the top zone. And so that allows you to do something special. We have this switch on the front. What that switch does is when you flick it, it connects the bottom combination zone and the top combination zone together, and they are all connected. So instead of, let's say, point 1, 2, and 3 connected together here and point 4, 5, and 6 connected together here, then it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 all connected, which should, in theory, change your glitch. So let's see. Look at that. So we flip the switch, and now it's darker. It's more refined. Flip the switch up, less. Darker, less. So it allows you to control what exact glitch you get and get more out of your patches because you have 2 sets of glitches. This also can be used in some other cool ways. So let's pull these out and let's do kind of a direct point to point. So we can have, let's say, 1 in here, and we'll say 1 in here, and now no effect, but now there is one. It allows us to turn it on and off because we can just have only 2 points connected and have an on-off switch now because they're connecting as the switch is on. These 2 connect, these 2 disconnect. So it means you can get, more control of exactly what your glitch will look like and when you want it. It's really good for video. Find that using it with video is really awesome. So see here, very little effect with it off, switch on, tons of effects. So honestly, that's really all there is to patching. And you see that red just kind of stays, but it goes away after a sec. And there you go. That's really all there is to patching your camera. Video works the same way. You can't control the exposure like you can in manual, and it's less high quality, but you can obviously go into the function settings, and this should be raised higher. I don't know why it's so low quality. Unsure what that's about. We can probably adjust that to standard and put that at 640. But as you can see, that is kind of all there is to patching. I know this is a long video. I wanted to kind of explain it. If you have any questions, DM me, Gork Online on Instagram. I can explain. But yeah, I just wanted you to understand how the patch bay works. I know this is super unprofessional, but it's kind of a longer talk about the ethos of patching these cameras and really just explore. Every combination does something different. Sometimes it doesn't do a lot. Sometimes it does a lot. You just got to kind of explore and find out. So hope you enjoy your Chromancer. Take some cool photos. Tag me, DM me. I hope you love it. Peace.